Thank you very much, and thank you to the RDNF for this very humbling honor. As Rob said, it was humbling. We got that call on a Friday afternoon. But as Cecil Walker said in the video, I'm really here as a representative of the great local journalists in our company serving our local communities, now double in size than it was a year ago, every day. And representing all of them tonight through serendipity of scheduling are 30 news directors from 30 local communities. They're back there in the back row keeping you from leaving early. I want them all to stand up, please. Stand up, gang. They represent this company from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon, from Houston in the south to Minneapolis in the north, and from here in D.C. to Seattle in that other Washington. We couldn't be more proud of all of them. And on behalf of all of them, I want to acknowledge and thank our company's president and CEO, Gracia Martori, who provides this company the unquestioned support to fight the good fight every day in the 100-plus local communities we serve and for USA Today. Like any great CEO, she's demanding and questioning, oh yes she is, of our team, but never once, never, has she questioned the millions we spend every year on FOIA requests, court cases, and the like across this country. Also at this table is one of the greatest advocates for reporters' freedoms of our generation. She does it with little to no fanfare, but to the fights that Gary and Robin talked about earlier, she's been in the middle of them on behalf of everybody in this room, and everyone in Gannett knows how well reporters and our democracy have been served by our in-house First Amendment counsel, Barbara Wall. Barbara, please stand. Thank you, Barbara. Also at this table, two great collaborative friends and business partners of mine, our General Counsel, Todd Maiman, and the publisher of USA Today, Larry Kramer. Thanks for coming tonight, guys. And over at this table, my good friend, our former chairman and CEO, Craig DeBow, who was nice enough to hire me back to Gannett. Craig, thank you for coming tonight. And it's a special night. We're one of those American families that's all over this country, from Arizona to Connecticut, so it's really cool for us to have them all here together. My brother Rick, my sister Joan, our sons Adam, Chance, and Nash, our daughter-in-law Valerie, who's expecting our first grandchild in a matter of weeks, our lovely daughter-in-law Valerie, and Nash, I think you're a cool dude too. And my final thanks, and notice Lester, I know where she's sitting, is to my love of my life and my best friend Danny. Thank you for honoring the First Amendment in our home when you've had the right to go Vladimir Putin on me thousands of times. So I know I'm the last speaker between you and the exits tonight, so I'll exercise my freedom of speech judiciously. But, you know, represented in this room tonight are the finest national and international news organizations in the world. And we are proud to be partners with all of them. You know, but having lived in D.C. 2 times now, I've noticed that too many national decision makers in the media live in the echo chamber of D.C. and Manhattan, and some have never lived anywhere else. But 97% of this country does not live inside the Beltway or in New York. They live in the heartland. They live in 50 different states with their own cultures, their own legislatures, and now, as our stations in Denver and Seattle can attest, their own marijuana laws as well. No national media organization can or will ever cover all those critical local issues. Take, for instance, the current makeup of our U.S. House of Representatives. Gerrymandering and redistricting in the state legislatures has changed the U.S. House of Representatives forever, and for better or worse, the direction of this country. Which is all to say, the continued health of our republic requires a robust and healthy business model of local journalism. in every community, looking under rocks, staking out the state capitol and city hall, comforting the afflicted and holding the powerful accountable. At Gannett, one of our strategic pillars is called reinventing local journalism in the digital age. On one hand, it is a business imperative, but it's also an obligation. The business model of local journalism has to evolve. Our democracy depends on it. And for all of the wonderful developments that IP technology has brought us, and they are marvelous, there is no cavalry of local web journalists coming over the hill to save the day. It is up to us and other like-minded companies like ours. I want to shout out to Jordan Wertlieb and Hearst, who share that same fight that we do. It's up to companies like us to figure it out. It's up to us to embrace new technologies and consumer revolutions like social media. As we like to say at Gannett, social media is God's gift to television, and local broadcast journalism too, if we're smart enough to see it and embrace it. Local broadcasting is a regulated business, and we willingly accept the public interest obligations required of us. They're core to who we are and what we do. But that also means we have some business limitations. Because of standards, we can't run on our prime time, nor can our network partners, Breaking Bad or House of Cards. And again, we willingly accept that limitation. But policymakers need to understand that impacts our ability to compete against many other programmers who don't invest in local journalism anywhere. So does that mean we're asking for help from the government? Absolutely not. We can't, of course, ask the government to involve itself in the content of speech. But we can ask that our government facilitate free expression and use free speech as a guidepost and prism for regulatory action rather than political expediency. It is not just a communications policy question or a copyright question. Fostering free expression requires that content creators be able to control their content. The First Amendment is no one's constituent. It doesn't have a political action committee, and it doesn't vote. So it is hardly a surprise that it doesn't have a voice in Washington. But I would ask of all of you in this room, what voice could possibly be more important? Thank you again for this tremendous honor tonight.